If you haven't heard the news, on last Friday's Court of the Rings, Cordovan pretty much confirmed that they're on track to release update 35 this coming Wednesday. This update is an endgame instance-focused update with 2 new 3-mans. This is the first one, Sandlore. The other one is called Taurisgar. This is footage from that 3-man. There's also a 6-man coming, as well as a new raid. But we won't get the raid on release, but rather probably a few weeks later. But 2 new 3-mans, 1 6-man, and a 12-man raid. There's also the new power rework, the mastery changes to our damage, and of course the big Captain and Warden rework. Those are the main things coming with this update. And the purpose of this video is to help players prepare. Update 35 is just a few days away. And here are some tips and some information to help you prepare for update 35. Of course, for new instances, you want to be geared on your tunes, you want to be well prepared for new stuff. So on my channel, I already have a LOTRO gearing guide, get ready for update 35. If you want to check out if you have all the best gear, you can look up this video. I go through every class, every slot in your gear. I look at how you get the item, and I recommend what I think is the best possible item you can get. So if you want to fully prepare your character for the new instances, go ahead and check out this video. A few classes will see some changes in their trait points, mainly Warden, Captain, and Hunter. As we know, the Warden is getting a big rework. Yellow line is no longer going to be a line you can play. Instead, yellow line will be the utility line. You can either play red DPS Warden or blue Warden Tank, and yellow will be the utility line. So typically my advice would be to save your trait lines before Warden. I would say there's not really much point. Instead, you'll just have to wait and see when we get the new traits. On the left, you can see the current live traits, and I took a snip from the latest Bull Roar, and as you can see, it's changed quite a lot. Of course, on my Discord server, there will be new trait lines for Warden, Captain, and Hunter upon release. But for Warden, there's not really much point in remembering your trait line, because a lot has changed with the new trait line. But once we get update 35, you will have to retrait and try to figure out your new way of trading as a Warden. The same thing can be said about Captain, but the Captain changes are not that drastic. The Captain class is actually keeping all of their lines, but you will still see some changes to the trait lines, mainly as you can see from the Bull Roar traits. Field of the Dunedain, which is in yellow on live, has been moved. It's now in blue line. There's quite a few minor tweaks to the trait line, but for Captain, if you want to save your trait lines, they haven't changed as much. The main changes are going to be in yellow at the bottom and in blue line. Blue line will have the most of the reworks of the traits, and yellow line a little bit. But of course, I will have trait lines on my Discord server for every line, blue, red, and yellow Captain upon release. But like I said, the Captain traits are also changing, mainly blue, but also a little bit in yellow and a little bit in red. And the third class that will have their class trait points reset upon release of the new update is Hunter. Hunter will also see some minor changes to their trait lines. It's nothing major, but the biggest change will be Bow of the Righteous, which is currently over here on live. On the beta, as you can see, it has been moved over here into red. It's basically a power restore for you now on the beta. And the other change is Strength of the Earth, as you can see from this image on the right. At the bottom left in blue, it's going to be over here. You'll notice that Strength of the Earth is a power restore, but it's also now a DPS cooldown. So if you want to go full DPS the glass cannon as a Hunter upon release of the update, you want to get Burn Hot, you want to get your stuff in red line and then go deep into blue line to get Strength of the Earth. So except for that, no major changes for Hunter, so it might be worth saving your trait lines, or you can just use my Discord server and look up the trait lines for every class and every spec. And if you want to know more about these changes coming, I have videos on my channel where I explain the power rework, I explain the mastery changes, I explain the Captain rework, and I explain the Warden rework. And of course, there's all my beta reports with all the changes, as well as a first look of all the new instances. If you want to go and check that out, you can find that on my YouTube channel. And of course, with the new update, we should talk about Delvings a little bit. Delvings, of course, are now getting 12 tiers, but less stones, less clutter, and the Delvings themselves will be easier to play through. And of course, as you can see from this video, we're getting 2 brand new weekly quests to help with the Writ grind. Delve deeper, complete any tier of Delvings 15 times a week, it gives you 250 writs. And the other weekly requires a tier 6 and higher Delvings 10 times a week for another 250 writs. So that's another 500 pretty easy writs you can earn per week. With this update, we're also getting the delving system into the first classic instances. School and library will receive the delving system. So if you want to try out these 3-mans with a delving system, you can go ahead and do that with this update. Another thing we found out with the latest beta, the gold necklace, where you can slot your class item, which is basically an upgrade from your teal necklace, will eventually be available from the delving rewards. And on the latest beta, it only required you to have the teal necklace and 5 lump of brilliant silver. It's unlikely that the gold necklace will be here upon release, but as soon as the gold necklace is available in-game, we will probably see the necklace available from the barter. So this tip is to prepare for this and have 5 lump of brilliant silver ready for this, so that when this necklace goes live, you can then just go ahead and barter for it if you have your 5 lumps already. And like I said, it'll probably be available as soon as we get it in-game in the raid. And I think it's fair to say that this necklace will probably drop from tier 4, tier 5 of the new raid. And that's probably when we'll see it available from the delving barter. So unlikely upon release, but you can still prepare by working on your delvings, getting your lumps, being ready for the gold necklace. And of course, with the new update, we know that Blue Warden is going to be pretty good. We know that Blue Captain is going to be pretty good. Red Captain should be good again. And if you don't already have builds for those classes, allies, you can get a head start in these last few days before the update. As you can see, for my Warden, I already started preparing a bit. I have some teal essences ready for my tanking Warden. I started getting some gear because I'm gonna need some blue pieces. I got a cloak, I got a shield, and I have some runes stocked up for my new allies that I'm probably gonna need. The same thing goes for my captain. I already have a yellow and a red build, but I don't really have a blue build, and I kind of want to play blue cappy when it comes out. As you can see from the top right in my inventory, I kind of started saving up some stuff that I think might be useful for blue captain. So my tip for this is basically try to get some gear, get some traceries, get some enhancement runes. Just basically try to prepare as much as you can before release, and then you should have an easier time building your characters when we get the update. This next tip is going to be about your embers and how you should be saving your embers before this update, maybe get to ember cap as well. With this update, if you go to Karanos in Cardolan, see where I am right now, play this video a little bit. The Quartermaster Dunedain of Cardolan, he will have the Sarch Vorn barter items. And as you can see, Sarch Vorn rewards for the tier 2 deed. You can get all the offhands and shields and bows. And if you have the tier 3 deed, if you complete tier 3 of Sarch Vorn, you can then just go ahead and ember for your bracelets. And you need the tier 5 deed to get your necklaces. You see here that offhands, shields, and bows cost 3,000 embers, while all the bracelets cost 6,000, and the purple necklaces of your choice cost 7,000. Keep in mind you need the corresponding deed to barter for these items. But if you're still missing a few of these items and you have those deeds already, or you're able to get those deeds done before the update, save up your embers, get to ember cap before the release, go here, barter for your items right away upon release, and even save item drops that give embers that you get, just save them in your bags so you can get as many items as you want upon release. So save your embers for the Sarch Vorn barter items. This next tip is a pretty straightforward one for every big update. New big update usually means new faction, and as you can see from this screenshot from the beta, there's going to be a bunch of dailies and weekly quests for the new instances. And there's also a new reputation faction, the Stewards of the Iron Home. And as you can see, there's a new barter item. But if you want to get a boost to your reputation with the Stewards of the Iron Home, you of course use a small reputation acceleration tomes. I know a lot of people probably stocked up on them before they went away from the skirm camp. I myself didn't have much time to be on the game at that point, so I only managed to get 7 stacks. But I know loads of people stocked up on these, so if you want to get a boost to your rep gain with the Stewards of the Iron Home and get to those barter rewards earlier than normal, go ahead, get your rep accelerators out of your vaults. Or of course, if someone is selling any unbound ones, you can buy them from the AH. But yeah, if you want that little boost to your rep gain with a new faction, go ahead and use your rep tomes. And just a quick mention about PvMP as well. In the Ettenmoors, as a free player, there are now weekly quests you can do. Once you get to the Ettenmoors, you can go to the Sergeant at Arms Askwin. Right here, she will have a weekly quest for you. As you can see, this is weekly battle across the Ettenmoors tier 1. There's also a tier 2 once you complete the tier 1 quest. But you can see there's now weeklies in the moors for you to complete objectives and get some nice rewards. And of course, one of the biggest changes is Grodris is going to move in the Icendeep mine. So this up here in the north will be where Grodris will have her lair. And then creeps and freeps can fight to kill her and get bonuses. After you kill Grodris, whichever side deals the killing blow will get some good bonuses for 6 hours before Grodris will reset and you can fight for her bonuses again. Just a few quick notes on the captain, which is getting a pretty big rework with this update. Motivating speech will now be 20-minute duration, up from 5. Blue line will be better for healing, single target healing. Revealing mark will be 2% in red line, 2% in yellow line. But if you trait blue captain, revealing mark will be 4% heal. Double res will only be available to the captain if you trait blue. Red and yellow will only have a single target res. Shield of the Dunedain from yellow line is being moved to blue line as a capstone skill. Red line is getting a stance where you can choose to stand alone to deal more personal damage at the cost of some group support. And red line in general should be doing more DPS than they are on live. Noble mark is getting reworked with this update. Whenever the target with noble mark deals damage to a target, it will put a buff or minus 5% incoming damage and a small heal on that target. Strength in numbers is getting buffed with this update and will actually be worth trading again. There's a new cooldown in yellow called At the 4, replacing Shield of the Dunedain. And your fighting withdrawal, which is your parry buff, and your breakout is being split into 2 skills. So you'll have a single breakout skill and parry buff is its own skill. Some of the captain's traceries will also see some minor changes. Just a few quick notes on the Warden rework that's coming as well. Warden will be getting several new gambits. The Master Spear training will be increased to 7%, making spears just as viable as swords for DPS. Yellow line will disappear and will become a utility line. The red line bleed double procs will disappear, and red line will instead gain a cash out mechanic where you can build a few bleeds and then use a skill and then cash out for some really good burst damage. Blue line will get more cooldowns, stronger cooldowns, better self-healing, and their buffs will last longer. There's also going to be quite big changes to the Warden traceries, but I believe most of them are traceries that are going to change based on the Warden rework. So keep an eye on your traceries. Once this update goes live, go ahead and check your allies, check your traceries, see if you have the traceries that you want for either red or blue. And of course you have your general basic tips. Prepare your characters, get hope, scrolls, food, have stockpile on those for doing the new instances. Work on your allies, max them out as much as you can before the new update. Work on your virtues, get them up as high as you can in order to be as prepared as you can for the new instance cluster. I can't wait. Finally some new content, some in-game content for PvE. And of course, there will be a lot of videos, guides, tips, information coming from me after this update goes live. So keep an eye on the channel. Thank you for watching. See you in update 35. Thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing to help out the channel. Leave a like, join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next one. If you're playing or looking to play Lord of the Rings online, there is one place you need to be. The Ghyniverse is a community Discord server for the game Lord of the Rings Online. In this server, you'll find anything from giveaways. There's also a frequently asked questions channel that I would recommend checking out first. You'll be able to see when I put out new YouTube videos, whenever I stream. You can also ask for the streamer role, and you'll be able to post your own streams in this server for everyone to see. There's currently over 5,000 members in this Discord, and it keeps growing. You will also find discussion channels about the game, LOTRO. You can ask any questions in the help channel. There's discussions for every single class in the game and PvP. But one of the best things about this server is the best in slot items section. In this section you can find trait lines for every single class. You will find screenshots of the current best gear being displayed. In this channel you'll find charts showing what stats you need for your characters, mitigations, mastery crit, finesse, but you'll also find useful information about drop rates in different instances. I hope you will consider joining my server, and maybe one day I'll see you in Middle Earth.